We are highlighting Gail Rubin. Now, Gail is a certified thanatologist. She's also the doyen of death, aka a pioneering death educator. Now, she uses humor, film clips, and outside-the-box activities to help teach and encourage people to plan ahead for end-of-life issues. And we caught up with Gail to find out more about her work and why the grim topic of death doesn't have to be that grim after all.
Good morning, Gail. Welcome to New Mexico Living, and a big congratulations to you on becoming one of the finalists for our Remarkable Women.
Well, thanks. I'm honored to be recognized.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into things, Gail. Can you please share with us how and why did you become a pioneering death educator?
Well, I actually come from a background in television and public relations, and I got married in 2000. It was my second marriage, and we had a really creative Jewish Western wedding, and everybody had such a good time. I wanted to write a book about creative life cycle events and call it Matchings, Hatchings, and Dispatchings. And I got to do a monthly feature in the Albuquerque Tribune about weddings and births and deaths. And it was the stories about death and funerals that got the most reader response. So I figured, there's already plenty of books about wedding planning, but at the time there was not much about creative funeral planning. Funerals are the parties no one wants to plan. And so I focused on funerals, and that really changed the course of my career. I became a certified funeral celebrant, a certified thanatologist, and that's a fancy name for a death educator. And it's just been off to the races since then.
How did you get involved with historic Fairview Cemetery?
The people who ran the cemetery actually approached me about 2 years ago about taking over the non-perpetual care side of Fairview Memorial Park. Is the original cemetery, which was established in 1881. And over the years, it sort of fell into disrepair, and no one knew about all the rich history of Albuquerque and New Mexico, and really our country, that's buried there. And I assumed the mantle of the presidency in March of last year, just in time for COVID to shut everything down.
My goodness.
But we have done volunteer cleanups to get the tumbleweeds under control, and we're resetting headstones, and we have created a self-guided tour where you can learn some of the incredible history of Albuquerque and New Mexico based on the lives of the people who are buried there.
Now, how can people watch your A Good Goodbye TV series?
I did this television series through the public access channel, and we're airing them on Channel 27 on the Comcast system on Tuesday nights and on Saturday afternoons. And if you go to my website, agoodgoodbye.com, and look for the TV show tab, you'll see information about that.
Now, what can someone expect when watching that, Gail? Can you give us a little more info?
Oh, yes. It's a 30-minute program where I interview people in the funeral business, as well as in, talking about cemeteries and planning ahead and how things have changed over the years, how to get a green funeral, how to do a very personalized funeral or a memorial service. And even during this time of COVID, this is information that is applicable. We may not be able to meet in person, but there are ways to work around that and to have a good goodbye.
Okay, so a lot of very valuable information there, it sounds like. Now, why don't people plan ahead for end-of-life issues? What are your thoughts on that?
People are scared that if they talk about it, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And that is not true. I've been talking about these issues for more than 10 years, and so far, so good.
Okay, well, I do think you're right. It is a topic and a subject that a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about or they do want to avoid. Thank you for what you're doing for our community. And again, a big congratulations on the Remarkable Women nomination there. And before we wrap, can you please tell us where people can find you?
My main website is agoodgoodbye.com. And you can also see videos from the Before I Die New Mexico Festival, which I do every year. And of course, we did it online last year.
Yes.
And that's beforeidienm.com.
Excellent. Gail, thank you so much. You stay safe and healthy out there.
Thank you. You too.